Hello everyone, welcome back to more Turing Machine. I went to the trouble this time of setting up my extreme game setup. I really should, I don't know, look into Lua for this, because it shouldn't be that hard to get it to deal 2 sets of cards. As always, the code to play along should be in the description for you. It's right there if I somehow missed it. And, buckle up. It's going to be a heck of a thing, I guess. Let's have a look. What do we have? These two, the sum of all numbers compared to 6. What I thought was happening was this was summing 2 numbers, like blue and it's usually blue and yellow compared to 6, right? And that would be telling us a number is either uncommonly small or just a normal amount of large. No, wait. Well, I don't know. I guess it would be telling us not very much. I don't even know what I'm saying. Point is, now, I don't know. There's not that much interesting going on about those, I guess. How about, okay, order. We can start ruling out order things, usually, right? If I knew that the numbers were in ascending order or descending order. Well, okay. Blah. There's so much in these dang extreme puzzles. Oh, here's the one I was talking about. The yellow and blue compared to 6. Oh, no. Yellow. Okay. Oh, God. How many 1s or how many 4s? Please help. Well, at least E is going to help narrow things down pretty quickly because these are they're mutually exclusive and right? I don't know. Whichever card it is, it will at least be saying something relatively clear when I figure out which card it is. Well, okay. If this... No, right. I was thinking, if this told me there are 3 even numbers, then I would know, what this says. But, these are on the same card, so I can't even use one to rule the other out. Would a unique largest number be interesting? Not yet. It's so hard to rule out even a single card, a single criteria, because anything it's telling you, it would have to rule out and complete, 2 other cards that happen to be in the same verifier in order for that to be impossible, right? If this said the cards were in order, what would that accomplish? Or the numbers, rather. It would get halfway to telling me either of these, right? Sort of? I don't know. Halfway to telling me how many evens. It would rule out 1 or 3 even. 0 or 3 even. Or no, it wouldn't, because this isn't sequence order. This is just order. With possible gaps. It's sort of close to ruling out this card. It's certainly not there. But, if you have 3 numbers all in order, it's very difficult for the sum to be... It's impossible for the sum to be less than 6. It's very difficult for it to be 6. And so it's probably greater than 6. And likewise here, you couldn't have 0... Well, no. You could have 0 or 1, but you couldn't have 2. So maybe like an order here combined with information somewhere else could make D superfluous? But then I still can't rule out a specific card. Maybe the thing to do... Well, so let's sort of speculatively, and this is definitely not like... Hello? What? Okay. Let's say right now we're kind of imagining that... Oh, actually, I wanted to imagine something else. Let's imagine they're in ascending order, right? We would then know that this card is wrong. It can't be less than 6. Oh, yeah, it can. The sum of all the numbers, that's what I was thinking of. This one couldn't say the sum of all numbers is less than 6. And if it said it was equal to 6, that would also be a problem, because that would tell us the number of evens and odds, because we would know the numbers would be 1, 2, and 3. So we could rule out both parts of this card, leaving only this. And surely I mean, these... Well, let's actually imagine descending order instead, because that gives us actually slightly more information at the moment, weirdly. I guess actually it's probably the same. Because knowing something is greater than 3, if we had a descending order, purple could never be greater than 3, right? So this would be impossible. And if yellow were greater than 3, then we'd know blue and yellow. So if we could find some way to narrow down purple, but knowing blue is greater than 3 doesn't help that much. I don't know. I don't see anything we can completely rule out here. The possibility space is so vast. But I suspect we're unlikely to find out these are in order, but we could. Well, here's an interesting thought. Verifier B guarantees a unique largest number unless we see no order. Wouldn't that be interesting? It doesn't really give us anything specific, but, that would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? So maybe this actually is just going to say they're not in order. Because guaranteeing a unique largest number, a specific one of the 3 numbers to be uniquely the largest, is pretty powerful. That would tell us a lot. Huh. Well, how about 1s or 4s? I mean, that's pretty hard, right? Notice, by the way, on the hard version of this card, they haven't included 3 1s or 3 4s. Because by the time you're playing with hards, you're expected to already know that, there's not really any point putting that on the card. They just put that on the card so that new players wouldn't say, what the heck, how come it doesn't say there could be 3 4s? Because you know there can't. Well, either of these 2's would certainly make the bottom half of E impossible, right? And it would make yellow equals 3 also impossible, because then we would know the code is 434 or 141, right? Depending on which of these 2's it is. So if we were told there were 2 1's or 2 4's, we would also be told whether yellow is more than 3 or less than 3. The problem is yellow could be part of the group that's 2 1's or 2 4's. So that wouldn't necessarily tell us like a huge amount about the puzzle. I mean, knowing obviously what the 4's are, or the 1's, would tell us a lot, but if this like definitely told us that yellow isn't 4 or isn't 1 while we're, whatever, then that would actually hang on. So if this, say there were 2 4's, is it possible that it could tell us yellow is less than 3? No, I argue. Because then the only, oh no, God, there's the bottom half of this. How many even numbers? Yeah, either way, this card could only give us parity information about yellow. And we know yellow is less than 3. And so D, E, and C would solve the puzzle. So if D does tell us there are 2 1's or 2 4's, then it must also tell us that yellow is one of them. Does that help somehow? Well, this couldn't tell us anything if there were 2 1's or 2 4's. And we would also know yellow is one of them, but we wouldn't know what the other one is, I guess. A unique largest number. Okay, so let's actually specialize here to 2 4's. So if there are 2 4's, we know yellow is one of them. And we'd know the parity of one of the numbers. This couldn't tell us anything. There'd be a unique largest number. Which would have to be 5. And so whatever this tells us, telling us how many even numbers there are wouldn't be interesting. We would know that. So we'd have to give us parity on something. And it would either give us parity on the 5 or the 4 that isn't yellow. So I think B, C, D, and E would make A superfluous if D told us there are 2 4's. So I think we can finally rule something out before we get started. It took me a while. But I think that's just impossible with no questions asked at all. 2 1's we can't use the same arguments on because we kind of relied on the magnitude of the number when we said the unique largest number would rule it out. Like, but you know what? I wonder if D, B, and E are going to be an issue if we have 2 1's. So if there's 2 1's, obviously the bottom half of E can't tell us anything. We know there's more odds. So the top half, we've already said, would have to tell us that yellow is one of the 1's. Because if it said yellow is 3, we'd have the code. If it said yellow is greater than 3, we'd have the code when combined with C. So it's going to tell us yellow is a 1 and something else is a 1. We know from D and E. This can't tell us anything, so it would have to tell us the unique largest number and which color it is. So we'd have both ones triangulated. We'd have the largest number. But if we just take its parity, that won't really solve things, right? What if we looked at this card? We know a number would be greater than 3 in this case. But it couldn't be telling us that because we'd already know, well... Yeah, it couldn't be telling us that because then that would be also making B redundant. So it would have to be telling us about the sum related to 6. And we know 2 of the numbers are 1. So if it said equal or greater, then we'd know uniquely that it's either a 4 or a 5, respectively. So it would have to be telling us the sum is less than 6. So if we had 2 1s, we'd know yellow is one of them. We'd know the sum is less than 6. This would have to tell us the unique largest number, because otherwise there's no way... No, that's not true. Well, if anything else let us know which number is the unique largest, for example, say we found out purple is even, then this card would be redundant. So this would have to tell us the unique largest number. Largest color, I guess. I've used D, E, A, and B, and I don't think I... Is it possible that C, just can't give me the answer? And that's why it's impossible? 2 1s, one of them is yellow. This tells me what the other one is. Actually, hang on. If this tells me what the unique largest number is, then I didn't need this one to tell me that yellow is one of the ones. Aha! Yes. So if I have D telling me there are 2 1s, B can't tell me order because we know there's no order. So it would have to tell me the unique largest number, which pins down both 1s. And then this card can't tell me anything. Unless it tells me yellow is 3, which makes A and C redundant. Okay, so yes, good. This is impossible also. There can't be 2 1s or 2 4s. I mean, there could be, but this verifier couldn't be telling us about them. Whew! This is hard work. So again, 3 evens seems difficult. Is it impossible? I think it is, actually, if you just look at B. Because if all the numbers are even, and there's a unique largest number, that pretty well settles it, right? And this can't tell us anything either, because we already know there's no order if there are 3 evens. If there were a unique largest number, we know that one's 4 and the others are 2. So let's mark this as no also. Could there be 0 evens? That's more interesting. Because if there's a unique largest number and they're all odd, that doesn't necessarily, right? It could be a 5 and 2 1s, a 5 and 2 3s, 5, a 3 and a 1, a 3 and 2 1s. There's several possibilities. I suspect something would rule that out somehow. But the problem is, zero even numbers, there could actually be an order, right? Although no, that would completely solve the puzzle, right? Yes, if there were zero evens and we were told ascending or descending, that would solve the puzzle. We wouldn't need any of the others. So if there were zero even numbers, we would have to know which one is uniquely largest, which is quite powerful. Surely somehow we could solve then. This, I mean, unless the numbers are specifically 3, 1, 1, this top half can't tell us anything, right? And if the numbers are 3, 1, 1, then it has to tell us the sum is less than 6, which nails it down. So I think if there are zero even numbers, we have to have the top half of this and the bottom half of this. So it would be telling me which number is 5, and that the others are 1 or 3. It couldn't be telling me the bottom of E, so it would be telling me the top. It would have to be telling me whether yellow is 1 or 3. Because it couldn't tell me if it's bigger, because I would know if it were 5. But I still wouldn't know what the other odd number that isn't 5 is. Is it 1 or 3? And this could clarify that. As long as... No, even then, yeah. So it seems like there could be some way, just barely, for there to be zero even numbers. I'd know there's a 5 and 2 other odd numbers. I'd know which one the 5 is. I'd know whether yellow is 1 or 3. And this could narrow it down by giving me equal to 6, i.e. 5, 3, 3. Oh, although, maybe equal to 6 is too difficult. Because if they were equal to 6, no, I think it still could do that. Okay, so for now, let's leave open the possibility of 3 odd numbers. And start asking questions. It's been about the length of a non-extreme video, so maybe we should start to play the game. What do you think? I kid, of course. Obviously, this is playing the game. If a specific color is greater than 3, I mean, I don't think that particularly tells us too much. All right, so let's just look at which of these remaining things have the most possibilities. There's 9 here, 6 on each of these, 7 here, 5 here. But like this one, we think probably these two are not it. So there's really only like 4 plausible ones here. Zero evens here is probably not anything, so we can regard this as kind of being like 8 possibilities. But boy, imagine if we gave this 0 evens and it said yes, that would be something. Well, it wouldn't, because we wouldn't know yet whether we were up here or in this slot. So let's talk to C, D, and A, I guess. And let's try for a sum greater than 6 with only one number above 3 if possible. That's actually equal to 6. I mean, equal to 6 would be fine, I guess. I said I wanted to talk to who? A, C, and E? Ace? A, C, and D. Okay, CAD. So how is this doing with respect to C? Helps us narrow down the number of evens. That's fine. Parity on this? Yeah, any question we ask of these is C is fine for now, as long as they're not all even. And for D, top half of this is fine. Bottom half? Well, we don't want 2 ones. That would mean, I don't know, it's kind of fine to be aiming at something that can't happen. We just want to be aiming at about half of the possibilities. Yeah, I guess... How about 3, 4, 3? Then I'm not aiming at the same part of C as I was before. Of A, rather. We're aiming at greater instead of less. Which is fine. Maybe even better. Still aiming at 1. Yeah, this C doesn't care what we use to ask. Yeah, this looks all right. So let's just write in 4, 3, 3, 4, 3 as our guess. That's a little high. We wanted to talk to D because it has many possibilities. Oh, you know what? I've been in the last game when I got these decals out. I used this, and then I used the decals to write on the card. Because the problem I was solving was that it's difficult to take notes on the cards, and you can't use the pen to do it. But I could take notes here already. However, like, since I have the decals, why don't I just use them for this as well, right? D says yes. I need smaller decals. So if D said yes to 3, 4, 3, it can't have been checking for 1, 1 or for 0, 4s. And it can't have been checking for either of these. Wait. Yeah, 3 and 4, that's 7. Okay, so we're in good shape here. Can I like make this window a little smaller? I can move it. I can't shrink it though? Alright, well. Now I can't even move it. There we go. Get out of my face. Cool. Let's ask C. It says yes also. Neat. So what do we know about that? 3, 4, 3. Well, there must be either one even number or else one, you know, that. Great. Good start. And I wanted to ask A. A no. 343 is what I asked A. So it can't be checking that yellow is greater than 3. And it can't be checking that their sum is greater than 6. Okay, great turn 1. I love it. Great round 1, anyway. Now, the big question. Does this let us rule out... Oh, I'm a little sad that I ruled out yellow greater than 3, because that would have made this card redundant. I would prefer to rule out one of these. So that would have been a better question. Didn't think about that. Was there a question I could ask that would have similar criteria? Yes, of course there was. I could have just swapped yellow and blue, and that would have been a better question. Whoops. Okay, well, we better take a shot at B. Which I think means having a unique largest number but no order. Okay. I don't know. Sorry. Shouldn't take a shot at B yet. I should start figuring out, does this make something else impossible? I mean, zero even numbers we thought earlier might be impossible. We've now proven that it can't be a criteria, although of course it could be true. It's almost the case that we can conclude there's at least one odd number in the puzzle. But it could be that this is telling me, oh yeah, it's yellow's even, and then like I wouldn't know anything about whether the others are odd or whatever. I mean, I don't even know how to approach. Like, could ascending order, I guess, has that become impossible now where it was unlikely but possible before? Well, first of all, we now can rule out the top half of A from that universe, right? Because it no longer has the out of telling us that the sum is greater than 6. So it would have to be the bottom half telling us blue or purple is greater than 3. And it couldn't tell us that blue is greater than 3, because then we couldn't have an ascending sequence, right? Oh, in that sense, actually, ruling out yellow greater than 3 was kind of useful. Because it lets me use A more efficiently for disproving stuff about the bottom half of B. That's kind of cute. Anyway, so if it were ascending, we would have to know that purple is greater than 3. Not sure that accomplishes much. I guess if I knew there were 0 1s, then my numbers would be restricted to 2 through 5. I know purple's greater than 3. I still wouldn't know for sure about even numbers. So this could tell me something or not. Yellow greater than 3 or less than 3 would mostly solve the puzzle at that point, right? If I knew we had ascending order. And I think this all kind of reflexively applies to descending order as well. Just swap yellow, blue and purple, right? Sort of. But for now, let's keep thinking about ascending. We would know purple is at least 4. Yellow greater than 3 would solve purple and yellow as 4 and 5. And then C would have to give us parity. And it couldn't give us yellow or purple parity because we already know those. So it would have to give us blue parity, and either way, the parity of blue would have to be odd. Interesting. So if I had an ascending sequence where purple is odd, sorry, purple is the biggest. Well, purple's always the biggest in ascending, I mean. It seems like that would just be solvable, right? Barely? Like the... Actually, something else to think about. Suppose we had ascending order here. This would definitely be telling us purple greater than 3, because it couldn't say either of the other things. But, and it couldn't say the other thing up here either. Could it be that we can deduce that purple is 3 even without referring to this card? Because then it would be redundant. That's what I should do. I should assume ascending order, ignore A, and prove purple is greater than 3. Because the only way purple could be 3 would be in the sequence 1, 2, 3. So if I can use these 4 cards, well, this assumption and these 3 cards to prove that purple is not, that we don't have the sequence 1, 2, 3, then I can conclude we can't have ascending order. Well, I mean, 1, 2, 3, all of these do actually match up with 1, 2, 3, and could be necessary to get us to see that we're there. Well, if the code were 1, 2, 3, we'd either know that yellow is less than 3, which gives us yellow and blue, or we'd know the parity of everything, and this wouldn't help. So this would have to be telling us yellow is less than 3. It would be solving blue and yellow with just B and E. That seems powerful. The top of D couldn't tell us anything. How could the bottom of D resolve it? Well, it could... It couldn't, right? I think that's how we disprove ascending order. So let me just go over this again. If I assume ascending order, then I know the only thing it can actually tell me over here is that purple is greater than 3. Because this is impossible, this makes other verifiers redundant, and this is impossible. So if I can prove that I don't need this information... Oh, wait, is this... No, if the code is one... hang on. Well, I know it can't be telling me this because I've got an X there. I don't need to prove that it can't tell me that. I've already done so. So this would have to be the lit up criteria on this verifier. But we want to prove it. Oh, no, that's not... Is that correct? Is that actually what I need to do? I guess if this is ascending order, then I know that this is what's being checked for. And then if I can prove I don't need this told to me, then I've proven this card is redundant. Okay. So if we're in ascending order, why did I think evens versus odds would completely tell me everything? It doesn't, right? Because... I thought, like, ascending, I was thinking must mean 1, 2, 3, I think, while I was thinking about this. Oh, no, the point was... Right. If I can, starting from 1, 3, 5, prove that purple is greater than 3, then this is impossible. So I'd like to instead assume that purple is not greater than 3, and then reach a contradiction. That would be a way to prove purple is greater than 3. So if these are 1, 3, 5, I'm going to then assume that actually the code is 1, 2, 3, and try to arrive at a contradiction. If the code is 1, 2, 3, then this card must be telling me there are no 1s. No, that can't be. Wait a minute, then this card is just fucked, right? Yeah, this is impossible. If we're in ascending order... No, hang on. Shoot. I'm supposed to try to prove... Wait, no, I think I'm right. Okay, hang on. If I assume they're in ascending order, then I think this has to tell me that. I know it does. But I think I don't need that information, right? Because the only way it could not be true is if the code is 1, 2, 3. In which case, what is verifier D telling me? It can't tell me there's no 1s. It can't tell me there's a 4. It can't tell me blue and yellow are greater than 6. This is all nonsense. So finally, they can't be in ascending order. Because when I assumed that they were in ascending order, I reached a contradiction where this card was redundant. If I knew they were in ascending order, I would also know purple is greater than 3 and would not need any information from verifier A. All right, now what about descending order? I don't think it's quite the same there, but it might be. If they're in descending order, then of course it has to tell me blue is greater than 3, right? For the same reason. Because none of the others of these could be? Wait, why can't... Oh, right, because I've got an X right there. Okay. But now if I look at D, I could learn that the sum of these two is greater than 6. In fact, it seems fairly likely that they're greater than 6. So I can't rule it out the same way I did the other one. Is there some other way to rule it out? I guess I could try to proceed by a similar what do you call it when you assume something in proof by contradiction? Assume that it's in descending order. Then this is definitely telling me blue is greater than 3. Can I then prove that I don't need to know this? Well, that wouldn't help, because it just might not tell me this. It might tell me one of these instead. So never mind that. If I knew what yellow is, would that be like super impactful? I don't know. What about knowing the unique greatest? I mean, that's really hard to make use of. I guess if purple were uniquely greatest, it would make it a little hard for this to say these two are greater than 6, but like not really. Okay, let's start asking questions. There's 4 possibilities here. 5, 4, 3, 5. So there, I said 5 3 times, right? 5, 4. No, I didn't. I said 4 3 times. So there's 2 5s. I'd like to talk to E and B. And then let's say A. So querying E, pretty much anything will do, right? I'd kind of like yellow to not be 3, just so I increase my odds of getting a hit, I guess. C, I'd like to change parity of 2 of the numbers, I guess, ish. Or just 1 as long as it's yellow. Because that gets me out of this area, right? If I have them all be odd, I guess C would have a fun time with that. And A was the other one? So like how about 1 1 5? 1 5 1. With the plan still being talked to A, B, and C. Where am I on each of these? With A, 1 5 1. Nope, don't want to test yellow greater than 3. I already tested that. Well, probably don't want yellow to be uniquely largest then, huh? Let's try 5 1 1 instead. So now I'm testing blue is big. The sum is exactly 6, which seems unlikely. No, the sum of... this is too big. 3 1 1. The sum is less than 6. That's quite unlikely. Oh, but now none of them are bigger than... Oh, that's tricky. If I make something bigger than 3... Oh my god, my keyboard, relax! 4. Like, keys get stuck sometimes. I don't think it's in the keyboard. I think it's in, like, the operating system just not processing keys for a while because it gets stuck doing something else. So this is testing sum is 6. Blue is big. That's a cool thing. It's testing blue is biggest and no order. That's fine with me. Here it's not quite right, is it? Or is it? I mean, here, 1 even, and purple odd. That's 2. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And I really said ABC is what I want to test, right? Doesn't seem right because there's 5 things here. C and D and B. I don't even need to talk to A. B, C, D is what I wanted to talk to. So I'm happy with B. I'm happy with C. What about D? 4, 1, 1. Well, that's not a very good code, is it? For testing D. A no. Well, maybe it's fine. Wait, why am I looking at D? There's only 3 possibilities. What? E. E has 5 possibilities. Right, E, I could just like ask any old thing, and it'll be reasonably efficient. B. C has 4. 4, 5, 4, 3, 5. So B and E are the important ones. E, you can ask anything and get fairly useful information. B, this query is fine for. C, we decided this query is fine, right? I'm in the 1 even number category. And in the purple odd category. That's half. Yeah, I guess I like 4, 1, 1. And I am going to have to remind myself who the heck I'm talking to. It's B, C, and E. Let's check in with E, shall we? I got a no. It's annoying that the decal tool closes when I switch to finger mode. Or hand mode, I don't know. I wish I could just stay down here out of the way. Anyway, that is a no from E. Which means what exactly? It can't be checking there are more odds than evens. Can't be checking that yellow is less than 3. Okay, fine. And then I wanted to check in with C. Well, B is most important. We got a yes from B. What does this mean? Oops, there go my decals again. A yes from B for 4, 1, 1. So it can't be checking that they're descending. I was hoping for a yes from B. This is nice. It must either care that blue is the biggest or that they're not ordered. Great. And I wanted to talk to C, right? No, D? C? C. Let's just make sure this is a good query for C. I've checked 100 times, but just in case. 411 is my query. We're here. And we're here. Yes, I like this. I have received an X from C. So what that means is that it can't be checking that there's an even number, because one even number, because that's what I had and it said no. And it can't be checking that purple is odd. Okay. Decent round. So we know it's giving us the parity of blue or yellow that somehow resolves the whole thing, huh? That's exciting. And we know there are more evens. No, we don't. There might be more evens than odds, but also we might just know what yellow is. If it told us yellow is 3, then this would have to tell us the parity of blue, which I guess is whatever. If it told me yellow is 3, surely that's a problem somehow. Blue would have to be odd and uniquely largest. No, it could just be that there's no order. Well, if purple were greater than 3, and blue were uniquely largest, we'd have an issue, right? Probably, because I know purple's 4, blue is 5. This would tell me yellow is even. And then this card couldn't. Well, either it would tell me even greater than odd, which I already know, so I can't do that. Or it would tell me exactly what yellow is. So that's not possible. If purple is greater than 3, then it can't be telling me blue is largest. It has to instead tell me there's no order. Is that possible? Purple's greater than 3, and there's no order. It's sort of hard, right? But not that hard. Like, I'd get the parity of either blue or yellow. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm not sure that would be an issue. But it is kind of nice to know that if purple is greater than 3, we can't be told blue is uniquely largest. We'll know there's no order. Yellow equals 3. I already did this, right? I already said, what if yellow were 3? Would there be a problem? And I think the answer is no, right? This would tell me blue is odd. But this card could do quite a bit of clearing up. This could do a couple things. All right, I think I'm just going to ask another question. Let's hit the left half of both A cards. Pretty tough, isn't it? Actually, it's impossible? Yeah, this A, man, it's tough. It's a tough nut to crack, huh? Because it's so hard to query the left half of it while also querying the left part of the top while also querying the bottom at all. It's impossible. So I didn't consider how difficult it would be to get information out of this card. So the fact that it has only 6 possibilities is a little bit, and 4 remaining, is a little bit misleading because it's difficult to hit all of its parts at once. Did I really not ask A? I thought the whole reason I put together 411 was so I could aim at the middle of A. Whoops. I'm pretty sure it was, and then I just decided not to talk to A, which is fine, but now this beautiful 411 query can't be used here anymore. That would have been very helpful. There's 4 possibilities on D and 4 on A. I think A is the most important one to target. But the problem is I can't aim at the top half very well, at all, right? I don't know. I can't aim at the top and the bottom at the same time. It's become impossible. Unless I want to ask 114 and somehow that can be good. I don't think it can. It's fine for A. I guess for B, it would still clear something up. What about for C? That's fine. It nails down C. Not that I want to ask B or C, but I could if I had to. Hang on. I asked 411 of E, and I got a no. I marked this wrong. Oh, I hate these fucking... Okay. Really? I asked a 411 of E. I got a no. Let me just re-ask that question real quick. Let me actually check the logs. Yeah, I asked E with 411. So I'm allowed to double check that information. I mean, I'm not, but I guess in principle, yeah. Anyway, 411. It says X. Yeah, I just noted it completely wrong. So it said no. Oh, wait, hang on. This is... I think this was right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It can't care that yellow is less than 3. I don't remember what I had marked. Was it this? I don't know. And it can't care that there's more odds because we arranged that. Okay. So my idea was one... No. Yeah, 141. No, 114. No, this doesn't work. Well, I mean... Okay, maybe... 114 aims at 2 parts of this, which I think is the most important thing I can do. So if I can get anything useful out of any other cards, even though it's, not ideal, it's still sort of useful. It'll fix C if I ask it. Doesn't do anything for B. So I could ask A and C. What about D? Doesn't learn anything from D, I think. I mean, it aims at one of the 4 slots. No, it doesn't. It aims at nothing on E. Because I kept one yellow so low, which I have to target this. Oh, this sucks. Hang on. Can this really tell me blue and yellow are more than 6? Because then this would definitely not be the top half of this card. It would be the bottom, right? So it would have to tell me a number that is greater than 3. I mean, that seems possible. But let's ask the opposite question. Could this tell me that their sum is less than 6? What would happen to this card? We obviously couldn't have this. And we couldn't have a 4. So we'd have to have 0 1s. Yeah, this is impossible. This is impossible. If the sum of all the numbers is less than 6, that's just hellish. Because this would have to be too big. There couldn't be any 4s. And there couldn't be 0 1s. Yes. Okay. Whew. Okay, this fixes my A problem a bit. That just can't be the case. What if the sum were 6? That's still pretty impactful, right? Hang on, wait, I'm stupid? Yeah, no, right. If the sum of all the numbers were 6, it could not tell me that the sum of just 2 of them is more than 6. If it told me there were 0 1s, then I would know all the numbers were 2s. Or no, I would know, yeah, all the numbers are 2. Yeah, they would have to be. Oh, well, no. It could tell me there are 0 1s, or it could tell me there's 1 4, and then implicitly the other 2 are 1s. But then I would know that blue is the 4 if there is one. So it couldn't tell me there's a 4. I would know that the code is 4 1 1 in that order. So it would have to tell me there's no 1s for the sum to be greater than 6. Is that... Did I get lost somewhere? No, wait. This is if the sum were greater than 6, of course it could. Many things could happen. Right, but it's equal than 6. Okay. If it's equal than 6, that's what I'm assuming right now is marked here and trying to disprove. This would be impossible. This, as I've said, would be possible, but would make all the other verifiers redundant. So I would have to be told, then, that there's a 4. So I would know the code is 4 1 1 in some order. There wouldn't be an order, and it would tell me, yeah, that blue is the biggest one. So I would know blue is, yeah, the code is 4 1 1. So for that reason... In fact, I can completely rule out the top half of A without asking it a question, which is great, because the top half of A was giving me a lot of trouble. So now we're down to 2 A's, 2 B's, 2 C's, 3 D's, and 3 E's. Can I do any more deductions? Blue. I mean, if I knew yellow was greater than 3, then let's look at card B and see if that could tell me anything. I don't think it could tell me blue is uniquely largest. Because then this card would have to tell me that purple is greater than 3. I'd have blue uniquely largest and 2 other numbers greater than 3. So blue would be 5, the others would be 4. Done. Everything else redundant. So if blue were greater than 3, therefore, it would have to just tell me there's no order. Sorry, yellow, not blue. So that's something I could note. But with yellow greater than 3, there's only, I don't know. For them to actually be in order is sort of hard, right? It requires a 5. And another number smaller than 5. This one would have to tell me what the 5 is. So I guess what I'm trying to do is prove that if they're in no order, I don't need all the verifiers, right? So assume they're greater than, yellow's greater than 5. Then I get to know which other one is greater than 3, and therefore is... Okay, so... We're assuming yellow is greater than 3 to try to disprove that. And the way to disprove that is to show that I can prove already that they're in no order. I think. Well, that's crazy, isn't it? I don't think I can prove it like that. What about from yellow is greater than 3? Would this be a problem? Proving that these two are greater than 6? Could I already prove that somehow? Not really. It's just that if I know yellow is greater than 3, it's easy to prove that I can't have uniquely largest purple. Blue. Didn't I already do that, right? Yeah. Because if A, B, E would be enough. That's why I'm trying to prove that yellow greater than 3 and no order is either impossible or makes something redundant. Is it impossible, maybe? That's a funny question. If yellow is greater than 3, is it impossible for the numbers to be unordered? It's very unlikely that would be the case. Yellow greater than 3 like tends to make things unordered because you need a 5 just as your first requirement for something to be ordered. So I don't see anything here that makes 5s impossible. In fact, A is suggesting there's a 5 out there somewhere. What if there were more evens than odds? Wouldn't that be something, maybe? Because, like, most of the numbers would be even at that point. Obviously. I don't know, it doesn't seem that profitable. Oh, it might be time to ask a question. I'm running out of brain. So if we want to ask E something and D, because they're the ones with 3 possibilities, I'd sort of, it doesn't really matter as long as I'm in just 1 or 2 of the possibilities, right? And the others just have 2 left. So I just need to split the difference on those. But the ones with 1 out of 2 are, in fact, sort of more difficult to split the difference on. Because you have to be in exactly 1 of 2 versus being in 1 out of 3. I don't know what I'm saying. Which, a color greater than 3. Okay, let's arbitrarily choose blue is 5. So now everything else has to be less than 3. If we ask A. And then for D, we want I don't know, this. Now we're in 0, 1s, and this. So that's 2 out of 3. But we don't have a 4. And then over here, yellow, evens greater than odds. We're in 1 category, right? That seems good enough. Let's not get too picky when I don't have any brilliant ideas. So I said I wanted to ask A, D, and E, right? Let's ask D first. And X. Okay, what does that mean? 522 is our code. It can't be checking that the sum is greater than 6, but it could be checking either. No, it can't be checking 0, 1s either, because there are 0, 1s, and it was unhappy. So we can, in fact, finally mark this one off. There's 1, 4. Ooh. Maybe that could be something real. We know there's a 4. Really? How exciting. Okay. What could I do with that? Well, not much. I just thought it might do something. I guess not. If yellow were 3, certainly that would be something. All right, I mean, let's keep talking to E because I don't think we can rule out any of these possibilities, can we? Without, I mean, just from knowing that there's a 4 somewhere, I don't think that helps too much here. We got a check mark from E, which means, actually, that's great, right? It can't be checking for yellow greater than 3 or equal to 3, so it's checking for evens. We know there's more evens. I mean, are we at the point yet where we could solve? Probably not, but maybe. We know there's more evens. We know there's a 4. But only 1 4, which means there's at least 1 2. Okay. Is that getting us anywhere? Whatever number this is referring to can't be the 2. And if this said blue were odd, it also couldn't be the 2. But it might just say yellow is even, and then blue could still be the 2. Could there be 3 even numbers? Maybe that's the thing to think about. If there were 3 evens, we'd know there's 1 4 and 2 2s. This would tell us yellow is even, which we know, but only because we know there are 3 evens, right? It's just we know that's what it would tell us. That doesn't make it redundant. Either of these again tells us something we would know if we knew there were 3 evens, but it wouldn't be redundant. Because something has to tell us there are 3 evens, right? If there were 3 even numbers, this would have to tell us yellow is even. We'd have to know there's a 4. We'd know one of these is the 4. Or is 4. We haven't yet proven. Just knowing there's 3 evens in our assumption doesn't mean we've proven it, right? To make something redundant. Ugh. If there were 3 even numbers, either one of these could occur. This would be very impactful. But, like... And it would make us not care about what's here, because we would know, oh yeah, blue's the only one greater than 3. But we still might need both of these to actually prove that there are 3 evens. Is the problem. Okay, I mean... There's still 8 possibilities for what these verifiers could say. I think I'm going to give up on trying to find the answer right now. I'm just going to talk to A. It says yes. Which means it is checking that blue is greater than 3. So we finally... Oh, actually, I want my decals back. No, blue is not one of these guys. So blue is greater than 3. And the numbers are mostly even. Now I guess we should ask, could this be telling us that blue is odd? I think the answer is no. Because then we'd know blue is 5. Oh, maybe that would be okay. I was thinking then knowing blue is uniquely largest would be uninteresting. because we already know there's more evens than odds. So if blue is odd, the others would have to be even and therefore less than 5. But this could say no order. So I guess if we assume it's telling us blue is odd, it must also be telling us there's no order. And we know it's also telling us there's more evens than odds. So if we learn blue is odd, from C and E, we would have that the other two numbers are even. One of them would have to be a 4 from D. Oh, I think we're getting somewhere. Because... okay. If I knew blue were odd... so if I assume C and allow myself to know D and E, then I'll know blue is 5. Well, I won't know blue is 5 yet, will I? Shoot. Only if I also use A. If I use A, C, D, and E, then I would know that blue is 5, and the other two numbers are 4 and 2, in some order. Ugh. And then B would be just enough to solve the puzzle, so nothing would be redundant. So why is it that I don't think blue being uniquely largest is interesting? Can I prove it is greater than 3 without referring to card A? Maybe that would do it? If I said blue were odd, then it would be 3 or 5. Wait. If I... no. I was thinking that if I knew there were more evens than odds and that blue were uniquely largest, then I would somehow know that it's odd, but that's not true. Because it could be like 4 and the others could be 1 and 1, for example. Could blue be... I don't know. I mean, I could just ask another couple questions. I would be done. Blue being odd is just so impactful, right? Because it makes the other numbers even. One of them 4. We have already been down this road, and it got just enough information to solve the puzzle. If blue were odd and greater than 3... and I knew evens were greater than odds, I would know the other two numbers had to be even. Knowing no order... doesn't help. Okay, I don't know. I think I'm going to try another question. I hate it. I feel like when there's 4 left, you should usually be able to figure something out. I guess I'm not ready to decide on my question yet, though. I just need to hit half of this. So, like, let's not have blue largest, but do have no order. That's pretty easy to guarantee, right? And then I need to hit half of C. So, like... actually, I could make blue 5... and then have it actually be in order. As long as I make 5, 3, 1, for example. Now I'm here, but not here. And I'm here, but not here. And that has, okay, that handles everything. Just give me B. What do I know? I'm dying here. Decals, please. I gotta know from B. Surely that's enough to solve the puzzle, right? Why did I put the decals away? So it's not checking for blue being the largest. It is checking for no order. Oh, I guess I can decal that as well. So we know that blue is greater than 3. And things aren't in order. Cool. We know there's a 4. We know there's more evens than odds. Well, okay. So there's only 2 possible codes at this point, right? I can just, like, try. Let's let C tell me that blue is odd. What would I have then? Blue is 5. The other 2 are even. One of them is 4. And no order disambiguates it. Because I have a 4 and a 2, and blue is 5. So it would have to be 5, 2, 4. Right? And I have to use every card to get there, right? Right. Okay, fine. So what if instead C tells me that yellow is even? Then pretty hard to solve this fucking puzzle, isn't it? There's like nowhere to start. Right? Like I know yellow is even. The numbers aren't in order. Blue is kind of big. There's a 4? I mean... I do know there's at least 1 2 in the puzzle, I guess. But there's basically no constraints on purple, right? I mean, the ordering is the only constraint on purple. And the even and odd stuff. So, like, if we let yellow be the only 4, then I guess blue would be 5. And that's impossible, because then the numbers are in order? No, because purple... Oh, no, it couldn't be 4 or 5, so it would be a problem. So we can't make yellow be the only 4 if we're assuming yellow's even. So yellow would have to be 2 then. And if purple is greater than 3... then, it could be 4 or 5. Purple could be 4 or 5. Either way, there's no order constraint violation, right? Yeah, I don't think this is possible. I don't think it can be telling me yellow is even, because there's not enough constraints on blue and purple. Like... because we end up with yellow being 2. And blue has to be big, but now the no order constraint is not very impactful, because blue is big and yellow is 2. We just need, like, purple to not be 1. And that's preferably it should be even. That's the only constraint on it. So that just can't be. It must be then that it's telling me blue is odd, and then there's one solution. Blue is 5. The others are even. One's a 4, the other's a 2. And they can't be in order, so it's like that. 5, 2, 4. Okay, let's finally punch that in. That is the correct code. I feel I could have gotten there earlier somehow. But I didn't. So we got no, yes, yes. Yes, no, no, yes, no, yes, no. I did beat the machine. It took 4 rounds and 12 questions. Phew. Ugh. This was a nightmare slog. I mean, I guess it was an extreme slog. Ha ha ha. Playing on extreme mode, not nightmare mode. But I mean, it's... I don't think I like this mode that much. It certainly is more challenging, but it's not like... I want to get to the part with meta deductions more quickly, where I can rule things out without having to ask questions. That's the fun part for me, not just constructing good questions. So I probably won't play this mode again anytime soon. I'd like to give Nightmare a try one of these days, but probably not right away. I mean, I don't know. I always say, let me know how you guys are doing, but I gotta be honest. I look at those comments and it's just like a wall of text, and I've forgotten what all the verifiers were, and I'm like, wow, very impressive, but I don't really read them. So, comment to share with the other people. There have been some chat, on those, but I gotta be honest, I'm probably not reading them. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.